Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mrinmayee Koltharkar, CEO and founder of the Pulmonary Rehab. On occasion of Pulmonary Rehab Week celebration 2023, we are embracing a breath of fresh air. So today's component that we would be taking care is legislation and insurance. Yes, something different again that TPR team has bought. Today we have with us is Mr. Vishesh Chaturvedi. So Mr. Vishesh Chaturvedi has started his career in 1997 and is practicing life insurance since 2001. First 4.5 years was on payroll of ICICI Prudential Life Insurance. Afterwards, he had done 1.5 years almost with Tata AIG, and lastly, around 5.5 years, he's with Reliance Life Insurance. So quite multiple experience that he has, and has started his own company, own business from 2nd October 2013, named Life and Investment Solution. So welcome, Mr. Vishesh Chaturvedi. I am very glad to have you here today with us, and I'm sure you will be able to enlighten all our viewers, all our lung patients about insurance.
Thanks for inviting me. And yes, it's an honor to be here. And if I can contribute towards such a holy cause, that's great.
Thank you, Vishesh. Thanks a lot for doing this with us today. So there are certain questions. The reason that we have chosen this topic of discussion is people are not aware much about insurance, and especially pertaining to lung patients. So we would like to enlighten this and raise awareness about it. What is it that we are lacking and how it can be taken care of? That's the entire concept of today's talk, today's interview. So first, foremost thing I would like to know is, are lung patients, people who have COPD, asthma, bronchiectasis, ILD, fibrosis, even COVID, are they eligible for insurance cover?
Yes, to a certain extent, they are eligible for insurance cover, but it totally depends how, at what stage of the disease they are. If they are on very primary disease, yes, they can be covered, but definitely not at last stage.
Okay. So earlier the diagnosis, you are eligible for insurance. If at later diagnosis a person has, then that might be little difficult to have insurance claim, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Or it can be further refined, when you are in good health, take insurance, because when you'll be needing insurance, no one will give you.
Right. So basically, if a person is healthy, but has some hereditary issues where he might think that he or she might land up in getting lung condition. So that would be an ideal candidate or ideal person to go for insurance and plan accordingly.
Yes, everyone, see, mediclaim is basic necessity. So everyone should be having it. Yes, if you are having hereditary exposure to any particular disease, definitely that should be a primary concern. You should be having insurance, and before getting into insurance contract, you should be clarifying whether these particular diseases or this will be covered and to what extent it will be covered.
Okay. So a person while planning for insurance cover should note down if the conditions are covered. That is first foremost thing. If they have hereditary issues, they should definitely look for, like a person has a family history of lung fibrosis or asthma, they should always look for if those conditions are covered in the health insurance policies, right? Is what that you're trying to say.
Yes.
Fantastic. So what are the points that a person should consider while buying insurance policy? So in case if unfortunately, if that person lands up in a lung condition in future, he or she should benefit from it. So what points do you think can be considered?
So the word benefit won't be appropriate, because no one can benefit from insurance because he has to undergo a lot of pain.
Right.
So it's always advisable to take insurance when you are in good health. Don't wait for that morning when you are diagnosed for a particular thing and now you're applying for insurance, because first your age will be high, second your premium will increase,
right.
And third, there might be co-payment. They might be saying, now we are aware that you are suffering from this, so we have a guarantee that the cost will be coming for this particular life. So we can have a co-payment. You pay 20%, I will pay 80%, or 50%, 50%. So affair has become more costlier. When if he would have taken or she would have taken when they were in good health and they were not diagnosed for anything, that time it would have been cheaper.
Okay. And I think so it's more subjective also, right?
It's fixed. The norms are fixed. Okay, if the person is suffering, they will be covering with high premium,
Okay.
or probably they won't be covering.
Okay. Okay. So are there any specific criteria to be considered for claiming insurance for patient with existing lung condition? So if a person already has a lung condition, so would there be a waiting period for certain conditions if they have to claim insurance?
Yeah, with companies, it's different companies, 2 to 3 years is a waiting condition for any pre-existing illnesses.
Okay, so that's for any illness. But if the severity is more, then the chances of registering for new insurance might not be that great.
It won't be absolutely great. I mean, they won't insure.
They won't insure. But I would say you can always try.
Yes.
Okay. It would be subjective depending upon the company whether to allow or not. It's always better to get insured beforehand only rather than waiting for any lung issue to happen. But just in case one has and it's just initial stages, the company might approve, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's a great insight. So would usually we come across is there are some cement factory workers, there are coal mine workers, there are some farmers, there are construction workers who are more prone to developing lung conditions. So because of what we would call is workplace hazard or workplace or occupational acquired lung problem. So would that be covered under the individual or would that be covered in the company policy?
With individual also, there will be specific work hazard questionnaire, which they need to answer and will be covering, probably with extra premium, or with definitely with corporate group insurance, they will be covering because entire employee force will be coming into insurance net.
Okay.
So definitely they will be covering.
So that would be covered. The group, basically the company policy would be covering that.
Yes.
So yes. If a person has to get a new job, what are the points he should be taking into consideration, especially where he knows there would be a possibility of landing up in lung issues? So anything that you would like to enlighten here?
Yeah, they should be asking with HR people whether mediclaim is being covered and to what extent the mediclaim is covered, because and when mediclaim starts, because different companies will be having different norms. So mediclaim is important when you are aware that there is certain risk to your lungs.
Okay, and is there anything to do with the probation period?
Yeah, so that's what they need to understand. Whether company will be insuring from them from day one or after completion of probation period and becoming permanent. So they should be, before getting into this type of job, they should be inquiring, and then they have to take a call.
So I think so that also one needs to emphasize on whenever they're resuming or getting a job anywhere, that insurance policies are covering right from day one. If not, then they should be knowing if they land up in any health issue during the probation period, one has to bear that cost. And otherwise, check what all conditions are also included in the insurance, right?
Precisely.
And what aspects are usually covered in the insurance? Is it the cost of the diagnostics? If someone lands up getting hospitalized, what all things are covered?
So 60 days before the hospitalization, during hospitalization, and 180 days after hospitalization, all costs are paid by company.
Okay, so that includes medications as well, right?
Medication, then your X-rays, blood test, probably physiotherapy.
Okay, we'll come to that as well. So ventilators and everything would be covered just in case there is any requirement, if God forbid anything is required as such.
Yes, it should be covered. So, but different companies are having different norms. So before getting into any contract, they should be thoroughly going through the brochure and understanding what is between the lines.
That's true. I think so. The terms and conditions are more important these days rather than just
Exactly.
blindly signing it.
Yeah.
So, how much percentage of the expense would be covered approximately? So, usually, what happens is certain patients, lung patients, eventually they have to undergo a transplant. Not every lung patient, but few of them might have to go for lung transplantation. And the lung transplant cost is it's a bit expensive affair. It would be roughly around 35 to 50 lakhs. Might vary as well in India. So if a person who is registered for insurance and did not had any pre-existing lung condition, after being insured, say after few years, develops a lung condition and it worsens and needs lung transplantation. So how much would be the percentage of the expenses covered by insurance policy?
Up to sum assured in certain cases. So here we need to note one point when the cost of operation might be 50 lakhs, but person might have taken a policy worth 5 lakhs only. So 5 lakhs will be covered. So usually when we are applying for any policies, we should be taking high insurance amount so that any unforeseen extra cost or any such high cost operations are also covered. Otherwise, we won't be able to. We have paid premium for these many years, but then up to 5 lakhs only insurance is there. So we'll pay 5 lakhs, but the cost was 50 lakhs. So where 45 lakhs will come.
Right. So one has to take care higher the policy, the better it is for them.
Yes.
Right? And there is some concept of the top up. What exactly is the concept and
So,
how that can be benefit?
So top up is an option when you already have base insurance plan. Say to give you an example, 20 lakhs is a base insurance plan and you are taking top up of more 80 lakhs. So your total insurance is 1 crore. So until this 20 lakhs is not exhausted, top up would come into picture. So once 20 lakhs is exhausted, then 80 lakhs will emerge. And you can avail the claims from 80 lakhs. But first you have to exhaust 20 lakhs.
Okay. So it's beneficial to have that top up cover as well.
Yes, yes.
That's great. And would expenses, we were, since it's pulmonary rehab week, we would definitely like to know would pulmonary rehabilitation charges be covered in the insurance? And is it only when a person is hospitalized or later also, if a person is coming to our clinic or any other OPD center, would that be covered? Are there any particular sessions that total 10 sessions only be covered or anything in particular?
So whatever will be mentioned during in discharge certificate that he need to undergo 25 sessions or 10 sessions. So those will be covered.
Okay. So if the discharge is mentioning, or even if the person is not hospitalized, but the doctor's certificate or the doctor's prescription is mentioning, say, do physiotherapy for lungs or pulmonary rehab for 3 months, it would be covered. As you mentioned, for 180 days post ailment, right?
Yeah. Post discharge.
Post diet. Yeah. So diagnosis also means if it's been.
So person need to get hospitalized 60 days before hospitalization and 180 days post hospitalization will be covered. But hospitalization is must.
Okay. So if a person is not hospitalized, it won't be covered.
It won't be covered.
Okay, understood. And is there any specific message or tip for lung patients or general population, I would say, to consider while they buy insurance policies that you want to give to our viewers today?
Yeah. So insurance is basic necessity. Take it when you don't need it, because once you need it, no one will give you. So never compromise on basic necessities. Rest everything is luxury. So we try to avoid basic necessity and live on luxurious life. And when time strikes, our basic necessities are not there. And this we have realized in a very bad taste during COVID. Cost of hospitalization was humongous, but insurance coverage was peanuts. Peanuts, 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs was the insurance coverage when the bill was coming up to 80 lakhs, 18 lakhs, sorry.
So I think so COVID has been an eye-opener for all, and every person that we insist should get insured, try insuring for higher policies, higher amount rather than trying for his lower amount, as well as top-up cover to consider. And see to it that even when you are going for a job anywhere, you should look for the company policies, the insurance policies that the companies are offering, and see to it even individual policies that you are planning to get. All the lung conditions, also certain lung conditions at least are covered, right?
Yep.
So I think so that summarizes everything. Thanks a lot, Vishesh, for doing this with the Pulmonary Rehab today. It has really been enlightening, and I'm sure it would raise awareness amongst people, and they would definitely look forward for buying more insurance policy as a necessity and not a luxury. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you.